tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. arrives in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, together with the Philippine delegation to attend the first ASEAN Gulf Cooperation Council meeting.
Commission on Elections or COMELEC Chairman George Erwin Garcia reveals that they received few reports of violations as the campaign period for the upcoming 2023 Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections has officially started.
The Philippine government urges thousands of Filipinos in southern Lebanon to evacuate due to possible escalation of hostilities.
And the authorities arrest hundreds of people after a large gathering of pro-Palestinian demonstrators at the Cannon Rotunda and the Capitol complex.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Thursday, October 19, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am Mariela Toza.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Marvi Delphine.
First in the news. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has arrived in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, alongside the Philippine delegation. Their mission is to participate in the inaugural ASEAN Gulf Cooperation Council meeting. Nel Maribohok will give us the details live. Yes, Nel, good evening.
Yes, Mariela, the plane carrying President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and the members of the Philippine delegation touched down at 12:55 p.m. at the King Khalid International Airport here in Riyadh. The President arrived here in Saudi Arabia to attend the first ASEAN Gulf Cooperation Council Summit, where major geopolitical developments, security, economic progress, and socio-cultural collaboration are high on the agenda. For his first schedule, upon arrival, the President is scheduled to attend a roundtable meeting with Saudi business leaders, where he is expected to present investment opportunities in the Philippines. President Marcos believes the ASEAN GCC Summit is an important platform for the Philippines to highlight the need for cooperation in energy and food security, logistics, supply chains, digital transformation, and free flow of goods, people, and services, as well as the enhancement and protection of the rights of the overseas Filipino workers. GCC countries are home to an estimated 2.2 million Filipinos working in critical fields. President Marcos also promised to emphasize during the summit the country's advocacy for a rules-based international order to stability in both regions. And that is our update here in Saudi Riyadh. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Nel Maribohok, reporting live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, reiterated that they will not hesitate to file disqualification cases against those who transgress the rules governing campaigning during the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections, or BSKE. Dante Amento tells us why.
The campaign period for the upcoming 2023 Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections, or BSKE, has officially started today, October 19. Commission on Elections, or COMELEC Chairman George Erwin Garcia revealed that they received few reports of violations on the rules of campaigning. These include campaign materials posted on electric posts or wires. In Caloocan City, posters of a group of candidates were posted on electric wire. However, the candidates stressed they were not responsible of the act.
Actually, di ako nagkapit. May nagkapit to.
Okay.
Opo.
May nagkabit.
May mga nagkakapit siya.
Pero kayo po nag-utos o?
Ay, hindi.
Hindi po. Ba't hindi nyo nabantayan yung...
Kasi nandun po ako eh.
Ay, ganun po ba?
Oo. Natutulog nga po ako. Talagang alam namin. Kaya magulat nga kami, sir. Actually, kaya nga tinatawag namin. Sabi ko, tanggalin na yan.
May nagkabit dyan na wala kami. Siguro kung alam namin nung kinakabit yun nandiyan kami, hindi na namin siguro itutuloy.
Chairman Garcia reiterated they will not hesitate in filing disqualification cases against erring candidates.
Kung paano po kami naging mahigpit dito sa premature campaigning na tinatawag na may 7,000 na tayong binibigay na show cause orders at may kulang-kulang na 200 na posibleng ma-disqualify, tatandaan po ng lahat ng kandidato na patunayan namin dito, kayang-kaya namin patunayan lalo na sa issue ng vote buying, illegal campaign materials.
The Commission, meanwhile, will start removing illegal campaign materials through their nationwide Operation Baklas tomorrow, October 20. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
A tragic incident has shaken Barangay Minuyan 1 in San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. A 26-year-old Angelica Katage, the dedicated barangay secretary, lost her life in a devastating accident during an operation by the Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, known as Oplan Baklas. The accident occurred as Angelica, along with 2 other individuals, was traveling in a barangay patrol vehicle tasked with documenting campaign poster violations in common poster areas. Tragically, a bus struck their patrol vehicle, causing Angelica to fall. Witnesses have reported that the situation worsened when the bus driver allegedly continued to strike her, inflicting further injuries. The bus driver is now in police custody, facing charges of reckless imprudence, damage to property, and murder. The orphaned family of Angelica, who was the 3rd of 7 siblings, is seeking justice for this devastating loss.
Pupunta po sila sa lugar kung saan may mga nakakabit na poster ng mga kandidato po sa kanilang barangay. Ano po yun? Maghahanda po sa gagawing Oplan Baklas ng COMELEC. Nalaglag po siya nung matumbok po yung ng bus, yung likurang bahagi ng L300. Natagis po siya, kaya ang tendency, yung impact, nahulog po yung babae sa likuran.
The Police Regional Office Cordillera has made an unexpected decision. They are no longer recommending the activation of Task Force Abra for the upcoming elections. Instead, the Philippine National Police will be deploying 100 personnel to ensure security during the forthcoming barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections. Grace Flores details why.
Despite the consecutive incidents of violence leading up to the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections, the Police Regional Office Cordillera, or PROCOR, has decided not to activate Task Force Abra. This decision comes amidst concerns over the security situation in the province. According to Cordillera Regional Director Police Brigadier General Dave Peredo, who recognizes the intense political rivalry in the area, they will deploy just 100 police personnel to ensure security during the elections.
On my level as RD, we have been discussing this, and we do not recommend that the task force will be organized for Abra. As of now, we are initially we recommended the police personnel of Abra, and again by Monday we again bring 100 personnel for election duties.
In the Cordillera Administrative Region, one of the primary concerns of the Philippine National Police is Abra Province, where a significant number of teachers have withdrawn due to threats and intimidation from armed groups. PNP Chief Police General Benjamin Acorda Jr. has urged sitting officers and local government units not to interfere in the election process.
Well, again, sa ating mga kapulisan at saka even other government officials, the barangay election should be a political, gaya na sinasabi natin. Kami nakikiusap, sana tayo po magkaisa sa panahon na to, and let's make the barangay election clean and honest and void from any influence by other higher officials na magiging magulo. Hayaan po natin ang ating mga kababayan na mag-exercise ng right to select
Adding to the complexities, the town of Bukay will not be recognized as orange due to a recent incident where an exchange of gunfire between the police and armed individuals resulted in a fatality. The PNP has identified 49 barangays in Abra province as areas of concern due to various election-related incidents. Chief PNP Acorda Jr. personally participated in the celebration of the 122nd year police service anniversary at Camp Badudangwa, where special Procor officers and non-uniformed personnel were recognized for their service. Various police offices have received marked vehicles for quick response to untoward incidents in the region, along with ambulances and emergency kits. Grace Flores, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Foreign Affairs has just confirmed the tragic news of the fourth Filipino casualty in Israel as a result of a recent attack by Hamas on the 7th of October. Meanwhile, thousands of Filipinos in southern Lebanon have received an urgent directive to evacuate in response to the looming threat of a possible escalation of hostilities. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
The Department of Foreign Affairs has confirmed that 4 Filipinos tragically lost their lives during a surprise attack by Hamas militants in southern Israel on October 7. While 3 of the victims have been named, the 4th, a Filipina caregiver, remains unnamed at the request of her family.
It's with deep regret so that we confirm the 4th casualty. Because of the wishes of the family, we're not going to give the identity.
2 Filipinos remain unaccounted for or missing. The second batch of Filipino repatriates will arrive in Manila tomorrow, October 20. Meanwhile, thousands of Filipinos in southern Lebanon have been advised to evacuate due to possible escalation of hostilities between the Israeli forces and Hezbollah fighters. This amid the growing fears that the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza would spread. 70 Filipinos in northern Israel have already evacuated.
So southern Lebanon, though, we're waiting for the final recommendation of our embassy in Beirut. So we'll update you on that, but we'll ensure that they are safe.
Hezbollah is a militant group based in Lebanon. The DFA has assured that contingency and evacuation plans are in place should the situation deteriorate. Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And for the news abroad. The authorities arrest hundreds of people after a large gathering of pro-Palestinian demonstrators at the Cannon Rotunda and the Capitol complex. Gerard Morale will tell us why.
On Wednesday, a tumultuous scene unfolded on Capitol Hill as hundreds of pro-Palestinian protesters took the streets. Their fervent demonstrations led to a series of significant events. The protesters, with flags and signs in hand, converged around the Capitol complex. Their numbers swelled to the extent that they flooded into the Cannon House office building, ultimately filling its rotunda by 2:30 p.m. The intensity of the situation prompted a response from the U.S. Capitol Police. In the aftermath, approximately 300 individuals found themselves in custody arrested by the U.S. Capitol Police. Those who had congregated inside the Cannon Rotunda were charged with illegal protesting within a House office building. 3 individuals faced even more serious charges, accused of assaulting a police officer during the processing. To maintain order and security, the USCP closely monitored the Capitol complex as protesters gathered. They implemented temporary road closures to restrict access to specific areas for safety reasons, permitting only Capitol staff and employees to enter and exit during this period of heightened tension. As the demonstrations on Capitol, barricades surrounded the embassy, while a line of police officers stood a barrier between the crowd, adorned with the distinctive red, black, white, and green colors of the Palestinian flag. It's important to note that these events occurred against the backdrop of President Joe Biden's presence in Israel, where he initiated a series of talks with Israeli, Jordanian, Egyptian, and Palestinian leaders. Gerard Moral, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
United States President Joe Biden has reached an agreement with Egypt to deliver limited humanitarian aid to Gaza in response to the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict. During his visit to Tel Aviv, Biden expressed support for Israel's right to defend itself against the initial Hamas attack that triggered the conflict, and also stated that Israel had been badly victimized. However, he advised against being consumed by anger. After his visit, Biden discussed aid for Gaza with Egyptian President Abdul Fattah al-Sisi and confirmed that the Rafah crossing from Egypt to Gaza would open to allow humanitarian aid to enter Gaza. He also announced $100 million in U.S. funding to support Palestinian civilians, with a potential request for $10 billion in aid for Israel. Biden is scheduled to give a televised address to the nation from the White House to discuss the U.S. response to the Israel-Hamas conflict and the ongoing situation in Ukraine. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is also set to visit Israel, and Biden compared the Hamas attack to the 9/11 attacks in the U.S. during his visit to Tel Aviv. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, Marielle.
Thank you, Joselito, for that live report. For those watching or live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook.
Defense Secretary Gilberto Gibo Teodoro Jr. did not mince his words in response to recent allegations made by China. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning recently accused the Philippines of illegally occupying Pag-asa Island, known as Zhongyedao in China's terminology. Secretary Teodoro, in a direct and forceful retort, characterized China as a squatter in the West Philippine Sea. He underscored that in his view, it is China that is unlawfully occupying Philippine territories located within the nation's exclusive economic zone.
Ang illegal occupation ay kanila. Pag inoccupy ng Pilipinas ang Hainan Island, yung illegal occupation yun. Pero yun, nandito sila within our 200-mile exclusive economic zone. Sila ang squatter, illegal occupants sila dito.
Secretary Teodoro is resolute in the Philippines' commitment to defend its sovereign rights. He emphasizes the country will persist in its operations within the West Philippine Sea, in line with the directives of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.
The whistleblower and former employee of the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, Mr. Jeff Tumbado, personally appeared before the National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI. In a significant development, Mr. Tumbado has formally submitted his sworn statement, reiterating allegations of corruption within the LTFRB. JP Nunez will tell us why.
The whistleblower behind the alleged Ruta for Sale scheme within the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, Mr. Jeffrey Tumbado, has reaffirmed his claims in a sworn statement presented to the National Bureau of Investigation. However, it's worth noting that Mr. Tumbado has limited his allegations of corruption to the lower echelons of the LTFRB. His legal counsel, Attorney Bernardo Masangkay Jr., clarified that his client had provided a rationale for his change of stance.
May mga binawi siyang salita tungkol sa nauna niyang sinabi Pero he maintains pa rin yung ibang allegation na corruption sa lower level lang, but not doon sa higher.
In the statement, Tumbado did name specific offices within the LTFRB that he alleges are involved in corrupt practices.
Particularly dun sa umpisa muna sa technical division, paakyat ng legal division, hanggang dun na sa office of the chairman.
Attorney Masangkay elaborated that the alleged corruption appears to be connected to operators applying for franchise permits. It seems that some operators are purportedly resorting to bribing LTFRB officials to expedite the processing of their applications.
Merong mga franchise na ina-applyan at minsan hindi na bibigyan agad ng priority. Kaya itong mga aplikante, sila mismo ang allegedly nagsusungol sa mga tauhan ng LTFRB.
On October 23, Monday, the Committee on Transportation in the lower house is set to initiate a motu proprio probe into the alleged corruption within the LTFRB. Jeff Tumbado has declared his intention to provide additional evidence during the hearing, shedding further light on his decision to retract his initial allegations. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Admiral Ronnie Gavan has been formally installed as the 30th Commanding Officer of the Philippine Coast Guard. He assumes this significant role, succeeding Admiral Artemio Abu, who has led the PCG for more than a year and 7 months. Admiral Gavan's background includes service as the Deputy Commandant for Administration, and he brings with him a commitment to enhancing the PCG's performance in fulfilling its primary duties. He also made a resounding promise to protect the interests and territorial integrity of the country.
As always, I will remain to be steadfast in protecting our country's maritime interests and territories, particularly of our country's sovereignty and sovereign rights, as well as protecting the livelihood of our fisher folks and other users of the sea. To re-echo the very clear guidance of our President, as the Commandant of the Coast Guard, I will never issue any directive that will cause us to lose even a centimeter of our territory and jurisdiction.
The Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura or SINAG has put forward a recommendation for the imposition of a price cap on well-milled rice. According to SINAG's chairman Rosendo So, traders are currently purchasing palay or unhusked rice at higher prices even during the peak of the harvest season. There is concern that this practice might be used as a pretext to sell rice stocks at inflated prices. SINAG proposes setting a price cap of 45 pesos per kilogram of well-milled rice with the intention of establishing a lower farm gate price for palay. However, the Department of Agriculture has expressed that there are alternative methods to stabilize rice prices in the coming months.
Sa tingin natin mag-price cap ulit sa 45 para bumalik sa 25 pesos, yung 23 to 25 ang pagbili ng palay.
The price cap should really be a short-term one. I don't think we will resort into that. We'll have to study, how there are probably other measures that we can already do. Napilitan lang talaga nag-price cap noon kasi we were not really seeing the local prices going down.
Meanwhile, as the nation transitions into the rainy and colder months, an infectious disease expert advised the public to brace for a potential surge in cases of influenza-like illnesses. Gladys Tuwabi has the report.
In the midst of the changing seasons, it is the young and the elderly who face a heightened risk of being afflicted by influenza-like illnesses. Some of our students are already feeling the impact, missing valuable classroom time due to these ailments. For the family of Marilu and Joseph, the battle against influenza-like illnesses has hit close to home. In order to protect others, they've had to take leaves from work and school, all in an effort to prevent further infections.
Absent po na siya sa school siguro for 3 days. Kasi nga, nakakahiya rin bukod dun baka makahawa. Tapos, kung 50 sila sa room, baka lahat yun magsahawa-hawa bukod pa dun sa labas ng room. Kaya pinagpahinga na lang din namin.
Ubo, sipon, lagnat. Yun ang ano. Ang unang nagkasakit sa amin yung asawa ko kasi teacher din yun eh. Pagkatapos ng asawa ko, yung anak ko naman na bunso, siya naman yung nagkasakit na 1 linggo. Tapos sumunod yung pamangkin ko. Ako naman yung last. Ngayon medyo, kahapon wala talaga akong boses. Ngayon medyo okay na.
According to Dr. Ronjin Solante, an infectious disease expert, we can anticipate a rise in these cases until January of next year. As of October 13, 2023, the Department of Health has reported a staggering 151,375 cases of influenza-like illnesses in the country. This marks a significant 45% increase compared to the same period in 2022. In response to this growing challenge, Dr. Solante has issued a reminder to the public. Wear a mask when venturing outside to minimize the risk of infection. When symptoms begin to manifest, it is crucial to stay at home and get the rest your body needs.
We have to educate again, no, and remind everyone na napaka-importante magsuot ng face mask, no, whether an ordinary face mask, a cloth mask can be acceptable, no, para lang that's the barrier of getting the infection. At the same time, especially for sa mga vulnerable population, kasi ang mga vulnerable population, ito yung natatamaan na pag influenza-like illness lang, pwedeng mag-severe, no? Kagaya ng COVID.
Health experts are strongly encouraging the public to consider getting an influenza vaccine as an essential measure to safeguard not only themselves but their households from potential infection. Gladys Tuwabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Hundreds of animals have been rescued in Spain from the clutches of a ruthless trafficking network which has been illegally selling these creatures even when they are not in good shape. This successful operation aimed at safeguarding these innocent beings took place approximately 3 years ago after Barcelona officers received several complaints from a pet shop in the city that this establishment was selling pets in a pitiable and unhealthy condition. James Hilario tells us why.
More than 400 animals, predominantly cats and dogs, were liberated from the clutches of an illegal trafficking network in Spain on Wednesday, October 18. This intricate network, operating through a circuitous route that involves importing animals from Eastern Europe via Andorra, came under the keen scrutiny of the authorities. The extensive gang behind this operation, numbering 13 individuals, found themselves facing the consequences of their actions as they were arrested and charged with a litany of offenses. These include animal abuse, fraud, money laundering, and even the forging of documents wherein the health of these animals was falsely declared even when their actual condition was far from healthy. What makes this story particularly disheartening is the involvement of a veterinarian who astonishingly lent her signature and expertise to conceal the true condition of the animals. This was done with the apparent intent of allowing these creatures to pass official controls and inspections, a stark betrayal of the trust one places in a medical professional. The ordeal that these animals endured during transportation was nothing short of appalling. They were subjected to arduous journeys by road, often cramped into unsanitary conditions. The breeds, many of high market value, were largely obtained through illegal online purchases, adding another layer of complexity to this troubling operation. In a positive turn, Spain has recently taken a step to combat such practices by passing a stringent law aimed at regulating the sale and ownership of pets. Those who defy this law will face severe punishments, including hefty fines of up to 200,000 euros or approximately $210,000. James Hilario, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
In a grand display of global diplomacy and solidarity, Russian leader Vladimir Putin received a warm welcome at a global summit in Beijing, hosted by China's President Xi Jinping. The summit marked the 10th anniversary of the Belt and Road Initiative, a signature foreign and economic display policy championed by President Xi with leaders of officials from over 130 countries attending. Putin emphasized the growing global conflicts that strengthen Russian-Chinese cooperation, which is a shift from previous Belt and Road summits, considering Russia's ongoing Ukraine conflict. The international community, such as Western nations, has voiced concerns over China's unwavering support for Russia while expressing solidarity with Ukraine. Putin's visit raised concerns that China and Russia are forming a coalition against Western influence, but openly opposing what they see as US-led global hegemony, and advocating a multipolar world. President Xi laid out an 8-point plan for advancing BRI, focusing on smaller projects, green development, and integrity building. While the Belt and Road Initiative has spurred development in many countries, it has faced criticism from debt burdens, environmental damage, cooperation, and wasteful projects. The summit attracted countries mainly from Africa, Southeast Asia, and South America, as well as Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban and representatives from Afghanistan's Taliban government. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Joselito Liquido, live from Malaysia. Good evening.
Our Kasangbahay. As the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with the word giving glory to God from the book of 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 22. It says, "Seeing ye have purified your souls in obeying the truth through the Spirit unto unfeigned love of the brethren, see that ye love one another with a pure heart fervently." And those are the reasons behind the news October 19, 2023. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Margie Delphine, live from Australia.
Because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am Maria Latoza, live from Australia. We serve the people, we give glory to God.